of getting feedback to people learning how to speak through a speech neuroprosthetic. That's the device that we call it. It's a speech neuroprosthetic. That is going to be the way that can help people learn how to do it the quickest, not necessarily like trying to say words and having it come on a screen, but actually have people embody, feel like it's part of themselves, or that they are directly controlling that illustration or animation.
I get a lot of questions about stutter. What can people with stutter do if they'd like to relieve their stutter?
Stutter is a condition where the words can't come out fluently. So you have all the ideas, you've got the language intact. Remember we talked about this distinction between language and speech. Stuttering is a problem of speech, right? So the ideas, the meanings, the grammar, it's all there in people stutter, but they can't get the words out fluently. So that's a speech condition. And in particular, it's a condition that affects articulation, specifically about controlling the production of words in this really coordinated kind of movements that have to happen in the vocal tract to produce fluent speech. And stuttering is a condition where people have a predisposition to it. So there's an aspect of stuttering, you are a stutterer or you're not a stutterer. But people who stutter don't stutter all the time either. So you could be a stutterer who stutters it sometimes, but not others. And really the main link between stuttering and anxiety is that anxiety can provoke it and make it worse. That's certainly true, but it's not necessarily caused by anxiety. It can essentially trigger it or make it worse, but it's not the cause of it per se. So the cause of it is still really not clear, but it does have to do with these kind of brain functions that we've been talking about earlier, which is that in order to produce normal fluent speech, we're not even conscious of what is going on in our mouths, in our larynx. We're not conscious, and if we were, we'd not be able to speak because it's too complex, it's too precise. It's something that we have really developed the abilities to do, and we do it naturally, right? It's part of our programming and part of what we learn inherently, innate, it's just through exposure. So stuttering is essentially a breakdown at certain times in that machinery being able to work in a really coordinated way. You can think about, the operations of these areas that are controlling the vocal tract. Let's say speech is like a symphony. In order for it to come out normally, you've got to have not just one part, the larynx, but the lips, the jaw. They can't be doing their own thing. They have to be very, very precisely activated and very, very precisely controlled in a way to actually create words. And so in stuttering, there's a breakdown of that coordination.
If somebody has a stutter, is it better to address that early in life when there's still neuroplasticity is very robust? And if so, what's the typical route for treatment? I have to imagine it's not brain surgery typically. I'm guessing there are speech therapists that people can